TSN, the sports network, your network for World Cup '94. Labatt Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Brought to you by Labatt Blue for an honest and true quality that's a big hit across Canada. By Esso Associates and Imperial Oil. You're on your way with Esso. And by Pepsi. Pepsi reminds you to be young, have fun, drink Pepsi.
Well, the Montreal Expos unfortunately falling out of the race in the National League East, but they sure did make it tight and they sure did make it exciting with a great second half of the season. Montreal is playing Florida tonight in National League action. They're in the second inning. Florida is leading 1-0. Jeff Fassero, brilliant young Montreal starter, 12-4 on the mound against Pat Rapp, 3-5. Philadelphia is playing Pittsburgh. They're in the third inning. Zeros in that game. Mike Williams starting for Philadelphia. Steve Cook for Pittsburgh. Cook coming into this game at 10-9. 7:40 Eastern Time start. St. Louis going up against New York. Sid Fernandez starting for New York. It has been an injury plague and frustrating season for Fernandez, trying to improve on that 4-6 record. Chicago playing LA in a 10:35 Eastern Time start. Oral Hershiser throwing for Los Angeles, 12-12 heading into this one. And San Diego playing San Francisco. John Burkett, 20-7. Perhaps will nudge over the 20-win mark going up against Todd Worrell. Well, Bonds had just an incredible weekend in 3 games against the Padres. He was 5 for 11, 4 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Bonds' efforts leading the Giants to a 3-game sweep of the Padres, leaving San Francisco just a game and a half behind the division-leading Braves. Bonds now batting .342 with a league-leading 44 home runs. Also has 114 RBIs. Numbers. Second only to Atlanta's Dave Justice, who has 115. National League MVP. I know where my vote, I don't have a vote, but it would certainly go, my tick would go beside Bonds' name.
I'm right with you, Romy, right there. It's got to be Barry Bonds. You talk about Barry Bonds and Fred McGriff and Len Dyser and some of those guys, but when you talk about someone, if you took him out of their lineup, could they still win without him? I think it's got to be Barry Bonds. He's carried that team. Will Clark has had an off year. Robbie Thompson has had a great year. But you take Barry Bonds out of there, and they don't win. So he's my ticket for MVP.
What about the American League MVP? John Olerud's a name that's got to go down.
John's had a huge year. So has Paul Molitor. But again, you take this guy out of that team, off that team, and can they win? And it's got to be Frank Thomas. He's just been outstanding. He's hit for power. He's knocked in 126 runs, and look at that, he's also hit .316. Not taking anything away from Paul or John. They've had outstanding years, but they've also had a tremendous supporting cast around them. Frank Thomas hasn't been that fortunate.
Jays and the Brewers all set to start. Could be clinch day 93 for the Toronto Blue Jays. Take us inside that room. You've been there before. Who's talking? Who's not talking? What's it like?
Well, you know, if Joe Carter's in there, you know he's talking, because he's always talking. And he's keeping everybody loose. You know, I think the Jays are going to take this just like any other game. They're just going to go out there and say...
Oh, you can't. How can you?
Well, remember the big picture. They're looking at the big picture. They're looking at the World Series. So this is just the first step. They can't be thinking about Baltimore or the World Series, the playoffs. They're going to just go out there and just play this game. I know Joe's going to be keeping them loose. They've got a lot of veterans there who are going to keep them nice and loose, and they're going to go out there and play good baseball. And if they win, they win. If they don't, they still have tomorrow night.
What's Cito saying? Is he walking around saying anything? We saw that entire feature on him a little bit earlier on. He seems to be kind of a silent leader with the team.
Cito, he's nice and cool. He lets you go out there and play, just lets you be your kind of player. He doesn't get all up on top of you, doesn't have all these meetings and things like that. I'm sure he's just treating it just like a regular game, just like everyone else.
What about you? What are you doing before a big game?
Well, right now I'm all nervous because I'm so happy for him. I'm so excited for him. I want him to get back there because these guys are great.
Hey, as always, you were hitting at least 500.
Oh.
Jays and the Brewers coming up. Could be clinch day 93. Toronto, Milwaukee. Hope you'll enjoy the game. Without further ado, let's go to the park.
the crowd they might have had in Toronto, not the weather they might have had indoors at Skydome. But the Blue Jays are happy that they have 7 chances to win 1 game and clinch the American League East. They like to get the job done tonight. To get it done, they'll have to beat a very tough pitcher who's having a good season when his team isn't. 25-year-old Cal Eldred has 16 wins as he makes his 35th start. He's up against the Blue Jays, managed by Cito Gaston, with 90 wins. They're 25 wins above 500. Tonight's lineup is brought to you by Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on. The Jays are hitting .278 as a team. That's 1 point higher than the club record set in '83. Ricky hit .340 on the recent homestand and really started to get it going. Top 3 in the order, and 5 players total, with Olrud and Molitor rather in the 6th spot, have scored over 100 runs this season. Fernandez hitting .373 in September, and Sprague and Borders have both been contributing RBIs in the month of September.
Zenith, state-of-the-art color television with the all-new advanced video imaging feature, providing Zenith's best picture ever. For quality and innovation, ask to see Zenith.
Well, the Milwaukee Brewers, Buck, have had their share of injuries this season, but one thing they've always been able to count on is Cal Eldred to show up every 5th day
and pitch an awful lot of innings. 240 2/3 innings for the season, 222 hits, and this guy is the epitome of a workhorse. 7 complete games. Eldred is a very basic pitcher. Fastball, curveball, changeup, the occasional cutter. And he likes to take command of the strike zone. If he sees anybody leaning out over the plate, he's not too timid about straightening them up. Defensively, the Brewers have committed 124 errors, and they've got a young lineup we're looking at in this series. O'Leary, Yount, and Hamilton, the outfield. Surhoff, Valentin, Juan Bell, and John Jaha on the infield. Dave Nilsson teams up with Cal Eldred to make the battery here tonight for the Brewers.
And here's Ricky. First base last year, got a double play turned by Fernandez to Alomar to Olney. And with the 91st win, the Blue Jays have sewn up the East. And in a season when pitching made people think it might be hard for them about mid-season to repeat, there was pitching tonight that shut down the Brewers. The 19th win for Pat Henkin. A setup from Mike Timlin. A save for Dwayne Ward, his 43rd. And the Blue Jays can wear caps that signify they're champions of the East. Ricky Henderson has his first East Division crown as a member of the Blue Jays. So does Dave Stewart. For Paul Molitor, his first crown since 1982 with the Milwaukee Brewers. Well, now that they've clinched, the Blue Jays can truly get down to business. But for tonight, they'll celebrate a 5th crown in the East. Let's go down to field level. Here's Buck with Paul Molitor.
Paulie, I guess this is kind of a dream come true. Your first year in Toronto, you had a career season, and you wrap up a divisional title here in Milwaukee. What's it mean to you?
I tell you, when you make a transition like that after 15 years, you speculate about possible ways things can go, and this has definitely been part of that plan. And it's been a long fight, and everybody knows the problems that the Yankees and the Orioles and other teams gave us, but when the tough got going there, we seemed to turn it on a little bit. And it's just a great feeling for myself and for the team to respond the way we did, play the ball we did down the stretch. And this is the first step. And I know the guys are happy tonight. We're going to enjoy it. But our goals are going to go a little bit farther.
Paul, you talk about responding. The first pitch you saw tonight from Cal Eldred. Describe your home run.
Cal's an aggressive pitcher. He did a heck of a job tonight, and he came after me with the fastball in. Just kind of quick swinging, Buck. The ball was inside, and I got it up in the air, and the ball was carrying pretty good to left field. it was a nice way to get our team off to a good start, and after that, the pitching took over, and what a job by the guys on the hill tonight.
You made a very significant point when you said this is just the start of a job. Now, this team has one thing on their mind. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, when you start out the season, an organization like this, their goal is to become world champions, defending their title. And this is a major interim goal that we had for ourselves. I mean, the 162-game test, you have to do that before you can advance. And we've surpassed that goal, but we are hungry to continue on. We know that the White Sox are looming large. Can't begin to think about the World Series because we know how tough the divisional playoffs are going to be. That'll be the second step, and of course, hopefully we can be successful and go ahead and defend that title.
Paul, go be with your teammates. Congratulations.
Okay, great. Thank you, buddy. Okay.
All right, Jim, that's Paul Molitor. Great home run tonight. Difference in the ball game.
And what a great night for Paul Molitor. All sorts of people around the Blue Jays dugout wishing him well as he clinches a championship. His wife, Linda, down to meet him. Back in Milwaukee, where they made their home for 15 seasons before the Blue Jays signed Molitor this year, and he's won the East Division Championship and now can go to work on an American League Championship and perhaps his first win in a World Series. The Toronto Blue Jays have captured the East Division crown for the first time on the road, for the 5th time in franchise history, and for the 3rd consecutive year. The final score tonight, Toronto 2 and Milwaukee nothing. Stick around, we'll go inside and get a taste of the Blue Jays victory celebration when we return on Labatt Blue Jays Baseball.
Play $1 Million Baseball Magic at A&P in Dominion. If any Blue Jays player hits for the cycle during a regular season telecast, we'll award a lucky A&P or Dominion shopper with $1 million. This week's features: Master Choice Premium Kettle Cooked Potato Chips, Master Choice Frozen Belgium Waffles, and Master Choice Selected Cheeses. $1 Million Baseball Magic, exclusively at A&P or Dominion.
McCain has a great new pizza snack. They call it Pizza Pockets. McCain! Pizza Pockets. The great pizza taste will keep you coming back. McCain! Pizza Pockets. Pizza perfection in a crust that's baked, not fried. So there's no leaks, no mess. Just taste. All taste and nothing but McCain! Pizza Pockets. No leaks, no mess. Just pizza perfection.
Labatt Blue Jays Baseball on TSN. Brought to you by Labatt Blue, for an honest and true quality that's a big hit across Canada. By Esso Associates and Imperial Oil. You're on your way with Esso. And by Pepsi. Pepsi reminds you to be young, have fun, drink Pepsi.
The Labatt player of the game tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays is Pat Hinton. His 19th win of the season was the clincher. The Labatt player of the game for the Brewers is Cal Eldred. His 8th complete game in a 2-0 loss to Toronto. A cash donation will be made to the Canadian Special Olympics on behalf of Eldred, Henkin, Sanyo, and Weed-Eater. All members of the Blue Jays pitching staff receive a selection of gifts from Midas for brake exhaust, suspension, and steering service. Trust your car to Midas. And the Black & Decker Serious Do-It-Yourself line of power tools. You'll never outgrow them. We'll be back again tomorrow night when the Blue Jays play the Milwaukee Brewers in the second game of this series. Baseball tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time. The Expos are on TSN against the Marlins on Wednesday night at 7:30 Eastern. The final score as the Blue Jays win the East, 2-0 Toronto.
The Toronto Blue Jays, 1993 American League champions. Chicago White Sox, 1993 American League West champions. Lots more coming up on Sports Desk. First time for you was 1991. Is that one hold a little more significance than last year, maybe?
Well, that first one is always special. And I remember that we were dumping champagne, and when I saw Cito there getting dumped with the whole water, I kept thinking about when we left the clubhouse there in 91, the place was underwater with champagne, water, milk, all kind of beer and all that kind of stuff. So It's a great feeling.
Cito give him a pretty long lead, do you think, for a couple of days? Let the veterans relax a little?
I think he has to. He's got to give Ricky and John, looks like he could use a day off or two, and get them ready for that Baltimore series so they can chug right into the playoffs.
So the Toronto Blue Jays American League East champions for the third year in a row. Success takes place at the intersection where skill, patience, and determination meet. The Jays standing right in the middle of that intersection right now. So long.
It's been a long, hard climb to the top of the AL East. The Jays won't let the Brewers stand in their way. Join Paul Romanuk at Baseball Control for all the Major League news. Then catch the Jays and the Brewers tonight at 7:30 Eastern on Real TV, TSN.
Stay tuned for more Real Life.
Coming up on TSN Sports Desk, the Toronto Blue Jays are able to do it again on the road this time as they clinch in Milwaukee. Ground ball for Tony Fernandez. Alomar for one. Oru for two. Double play. That's the ball game. It's a 93-peat. The Blue Jays are champions of the American League East again.
Sports Desk, brought to you by Canadian Air Cargo Express overnight door-to-door service from $9.99.
And hello, everyone. Welcome again to TSN Sports Desk. I'm Brendan Connor. Big Monday night in sports, and we've got a big show lined up for you with pennant clinches and locker room reaction, all of it. So let's get right to it. The Toronto Blue Jays, for them, winning the AL East at home has become sort of the thing that we've become used to. They've done it 4 times, of course, clinched in front of the hometown crowd. If they were going to clinch things Monday night, though, they would have to do it this time in chilly Milwaukee, a place where the Jays have experienced a number of disappointing nights over the years. The champagne was chilling, though, just about as chilly as the Wisconsin weather, as we take you to County Stadium. And Paul Molitor, a bit of a homecoming for him. Even before the Jays took the field, though, it was the Yankees and Baltimore. Top of the third, Jim Leyva of the Yankees takes Rick Sutcliffe out of the yard. 3-run homer, 5-1 Yankees on top. So, Pat Henkin and the Jays know that they'll have to do it by themselves. They won't get any help from the Yanks. Bottom of the first, Greg Vaughn, ground ball to short. Look at Tony go to the hole, and that buggy whip throw of his. He's been doing that all his career. Beautiful. Jays strike first. Top of the second, Paul Molitor back in front of his hometown fans. First pitch he sees is a rocket off the arm of Cal Eldred. 22nd home run of the year for Molitor. 1-0 Jays, and in Milwaukee they still love Paul Molitor. Yes, they do. Jays added their lead in the third. Devon White sending a high fly ball to center. Ed Sprague is aboard at third. He will tag and score, and Toronto has a 2-0 lead. After that, the rain started to come down. Some fans took cover rather than watching this game. Meanwhile, Pat Henkin still cruising, looking for win number 19. In the sixth, he gets John Jaha swinging. With 2 men aboard, he will get Juan Bell to ground out to John Olerud to end the inning and get himself out of a jam. And the Canadian contingent in Milwaukee starts celebrating. In the 7th inning, Henson gets into another jam, and Cito gives him the hook. Tony Castillo is in relief, and he will get B.J. Surhoff to fly out to center field. And Devon White is there to make the catch, and Henkin and the Jays dodge another bullet. Meantime, in Baltimore, bottom of the 9th, Steve Howe on for the Yankees. He induces a ground ball from Sherman Obando. That's the final out there, so the Yankees win by a score of 9-1. But in Milwaukee, the Blue Jays had the champagne on ice. They wanted to clinch this their own way. They didn't want to back in at all. Champagne chilling. Everybody chilling in Milwaukee. A win clinches it, even though the Yankees won. Bottom of the 9th, Wayne Ward on. 1 runner out. Kevin Reimer.
And a 1-2 pitch to it. Ground ball for Tony Fernandez. Alomar for 1. Oru for 2. Double play. That's the ball game. It's a 93-peat. The Blue Jays are champions of the American League East again.
Yes, sir. That is getting to be a familiar scene, although a little unfamiliar to see it away from Toronto for a change. 2-0 Jays as they clinch their 5th American League East title. Paul Molitor led the way with a home run, his 22nd. Pat Henkin gets his 19th win. He's been good on the road this year, 12-2 on the road. Dwayne Ward, 43 saves now, and the Blue Jays cooking when it counts, 13-2 over the last 15 games. We told you about the Blue Jays and their clinches. They've become one of the dominant teams in the AL East, certainly winning their first in '85, and then 4 in the last 5 years, winning in '89, allowing Boston a little time in 1990, and then the last 3 years, the Blue Jays have been the champions. TSN's Rod Smith made the trip to Milwaukee and has this report on the clinch.
For 15 years, Paul Molitor called this stadium home, so you can understand why he'd find it strange winning a division title here as a member of another team. But it didn't show with his first swing of the bat, accounting for the game-winning and pennant-clinching run and giving Molitor his first division title since 1982 as a member of the Brewers.
You know, coming in here and knowing the situation of possibly clinching it here, it was a strange feeling because, you know, I got good friends over there, and that'll never change. I think the friendships I build there will last a lifetime. But knowing that I had so much at stake professionally with this team that I now feel very much a member of, kind of a strange scenario. But to get that home run, to get us off to a start, you know, not to sound selfish or greedy, but I think that everyone envisions having a big hit in a game of significance. And for myself, after this year, I was hoping that I could have a part in our clinching victory.
I think the fact there was a lot of threads here that I just happened to be lucky enough to have a lot of guys that want to win and willing to go through it all over again, sacrifice, and go out and win again. And I'm really lucky. When I said that, we went out and picked up a couple more guys that had the same type of attitude, and Paul Molitor along with Dave Stewart, and of course Donnell Cole, and also Dick Schofield before he got hurt. So I'm lucky. I got a lot of guys on this team that are winners.
We feel real happy about it. Every time that any team winning the division, it's always a plus, and this is one of the steps that we want to go. We want to go all the way, and this is one of the steps that we feel real happy about it.
It's been such a great year for me. I've been so happy and be proud to be a part of this, and it's just I'm so glad that I can contribute the way I have this year and get some W's, and I'm just glad that Toronto Blue Jays won another division title, and that's what it's all about.
Just because you have talent doesn't mean you're always going to win. You still got to go out there and play. And in baseball, when you're dealing with the human factor, anything can happen. Injuries. We had some injuries. We had some guys that didn't play well. You know, we had our ups and downs, but we came through. You know, it's a matter of 6 months. But even though people picked us, you still got to go out there and do it. It's not one on paper, it's one on the field.
For the Blue Jays, of course, their 5th division title now. This one won more comfortably than any other. There's plenty of time to rest with 6 games to go, 2 more here and 4 in Baltimore before heading on to Chicago for Game 1 of the American League Championship next week. Rod Smith, TSN in Milwaukee.
Thank you, Rod. Well, like rules, traditions are made to be broken, and the Blue Jays broke with tradition by clinching the AL East title, as Rod mentioned, with a full week left on the schedule, the earliest they've ever won that AL East crown, and they did so on the road. That didn't stop Blue Jays fans in Toronto from celebrating their team's 5th division title. More from TSN's Mark Bunting.
After checking out several half-empty bars around the city, we settled on Don Cherry's near Skydome. With the division title a foregone conclusion, not everyone is watching the Jays and Brewers. The Yankees don't fold, so it's up to the Blue Jays to clinch the division for themselves.
I was surprised that there were so few people. I thought it would be crowded in here today, you know, with them having a chance to win it. So, well, at least the people that are here are happy. So.
Even though it seems like it's routine, it's still great. Still a great feeling.
We knew that we only had to win 1 out of the next 7 games, so people weren't as tense about it. They figured, oh yeah, 1 in 7 we'll win for sure.
We've been there before, and it's really not that big of a deal right now. The Holy Grail's coming back, you know? The flag's flying north of the border once again.
The routine on these occasions is for people to flock to Yonge Street, but by 11:30 it's more of a trickle. Even the police are wondering where the celebration is. Eventually the action picks up.
I
I've covered a few of these Blue Jays victory celebrations over the years, and usually by now with the camera light on, there'd be about 30 people behind me, and I'm fearing for my life. But tonight's a little more subdued, perhaps for a few reasons. It is a Monday night. The Blue Jays clinched on the road, and after all, this is the Jays' 4th division title in 5 years, so maybe the Blue Jays fans are a little bit blasé now. But as you can hear, they're still very enthusiastic. They know this is just step one in the three-step process. Mark Bunting, TSN in Toronto.
All right, thank you, Mark. Time for a short break here on TSN Sports. Steph, but still lots ahead because we have the story from the American League West where the party was on in Chicago.
And just pitch. Yeah, I guess you've gotten some W's, 19 of them. How'd you feel tonight when you went to the mound?
I felt okay. I didn't have a good cutter early on, and Pat recognized that, and he did a real good job of not going to it that often. We stayed with my curveball and stayed with a little BP fastball and my fastball.
You guys, the starters that is, really came in through in September. Was there one point when you all felt like, well, we've got to step it up a notch?
Well, we knew that it was crunch time, and Yankees were right there with us, and so was Baltimore. We just felt that with our offense, all we needed to do was keep it close, and we'd get a lot of W's, and that's what we've done. I mean, everybody's done a super job coming down the stretch.
Tell us about Cito and his confidence in the starters, because there was a time when he could have made some adjustments in the rotation.
You know, I mean, that shows a lot with Cito and showing the confidence that he has with us. You know, you got guys like Dave Stewart and Morris and Guzman and everybody, and it's just a great rotation. I'm just so happy and proud to be a part of it.
Now, this is a very subdued locker room. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think that we're ready for Chicago. We want to go at Chicago, and we're hungry, and I think that hopefully we can do the job.
Congratulations, Pat.
Thanks, Buck.
Yeah, they're all behind me. Okay, let's... Just a second here. We're going to get a hold of John Olerud. Congratulations. Pat Borders is with us, and Pat, you guys didn't appear to be too excited about all this when it started, but I think it's finally sunk in what you've done.
Once you wear off the cold from outside, it kind of picks up on you. Man, it's cold in here, too.
Tell us what it means to have a chance to go back and repeat as world champions.
Well, it's tough just to get back to this point. We're going to savor this a little bit and try not to get too excited about it and go back and evaluate Chicago and go after that.
Once again, Cito Gaston did a good job of resting you, and you came back a bit with the bat. How important was that rest to you?
Well, that helped me out a lot. I was completely wore out for some reason, and I got 6 days off in a row, and it kind of snapped back my back and my arm. I feel a lot better now.
Tell us about Pat Henkin and the way he's pitched this year.
Well, tonight he had outstanding fastball. His all-speed stuff wasn't as sharp as normal, but tonight he had such a good fastball, he kept him off balance, so just moving it in and out.
Congratulations. Enjoy the night.
Thank you.
Okay, John, congratulations. I tell you, you've had a lot of things going on. You know, you think about the race for 400, you think about the batting title. How important is it to you, knowing that you were such an important part of this divisional championship?
Well, I think it's real important. I think, you know, everybody wants to feel like they contributed, and, you know, I had a great year, and, you know, it makes it that much better that we got to the playoffs.
It seems like ages ago, but I can think back to a conversation you and Paul Molitor had in the spring about him talking to you about asking you when you're going to win a batting title. What did that do for your confidence early on?
Well, I don't know. You know, I didn't really take it too seriously. I just thought he was joking around because I was hitting great in spring training at the time, and you know, I just thought he was kind of joking around, but just carried over into the season. I kept swinging the bat well during the season, and you know, it's been great.
All right, John. Good luck. Enjoy the night.
All right. Thanks a lot, Buck.
Okay, Jim, we'll go upstairs to you for a while now. That's the scene down here in the clubhouse.
Seems rather subdued and businesslike as we expected. You look back over the season, there have been some great contributions and some interesting things happened to this team over the year. 156 games ago, Jack Morris got it all started. He'd won 21, and he started on opening day against the Seattle Mariners. He lasted 4 1/3 innings. Jack got off to an 0-3 start. His second start against Cleveland was a loss. His third start in Cleveland was another loss. And Morris struggled to just 7 wins after 21 victories. At the same time, at the start of the season, Dave Stewart had started the year on the disabled list. They had to look for Al Leiter to make some big starts, including that first start he made in Seattle, 7 innings of 2-hit ball against the Mariners. And then Pat Henkin on April 17th became the 5th starter, and he really got it rolling from there. There have been lots of contributions to pick up the slack in the starting rotation, and they really got it going in September for Cito Gaston, who I believe is Buck's next guest. Buck?
Well, that's right, Jim, and we're down here in the locker room, and there's some guys really enjoying it, but some guys understand that this is just the start of the next task. Cito Gaston, congratulations. You guys have been through a roller coaster ride, but you finished up on top again.
Thanks, Buck. It's been a great year, and I'm really happy for the players. Guys I've had on this ball club all year, as I've said many times, has had a lot of heart as far as being able to go back and bounce back the next day on bad days, and just played hard all season. These 9 guys in that lineup every day really did the job along with the pitchers, and we had a great year. It was a lot of fun, a lot of up and down, but it's not over yet.
Cito, in 1990, the Reds won the World Series and then had a tremendous letdown. Were you ever concerned that this club might have that similar kind of letdown?
Well, that's why I'm so proud of this team, is that, you know, it's the easiest thing to do is say, hey, it's tough to go through. Do I want to go through it again? I think Joe Carter said that early in the year at Welcome Back luncheon, that the tough thing about repeating it is that if you want to go through it again, it's a lot of sacrifice. And I think that's one reason we're so lucky here, is that we have a lot of guys that are willing to sacrifice themselves and time, and even from their family at times. But that just spells out winners. We have a lot of winners on this ball club.
Yeah, and you're certainly one of them, Cito, looking at your record, but you still get criticized for a laid-back attitude. This team, to me, represents you more than anything in it. You just let your players play.
Well, I think that's the best thing to do, Buck, is let them go out and play. And I think if you let them play, they will go out and play for you.
What's the next step?
Well, let's see if we can go to, we got at least 6 more games, and then we get a chance to go to Chicago, and hopefully we can go in there and split or win a couple.
Now that'll get your heart going. Well, Willie Kenyatte made another contribution.
Oh, boy, Willie.
1977, 1978 Yankees, the last club to repeat. Is this club capable of doing that?
I think it is, Buck. I think if we can stay healthy and keep our pitchers healthy and our guys healthy, and I think we have an excellent chance to go back and do it again. I'd love to be there. I'd love to do it again. Hey, give me some warm water.
All right.
Great.
Thanks a lot, Cito. Right here, Ricky Henderson. Ricky, congratulations, man.
All right, thanks a lot.
Did you ever get tired of this?
No, this is the fun time. This is the time that you work hard for to get to this point and enjoy it. It's a great time.
You and Stu have done this quite a few times now, but you get that little chance to go back to the big dance, so how important is that?
That's very important, you know. This is the test now. That's when they say they take all the boys on and bring all the mans out. This is the challenge that we're looking for.
You guys really turned up the juice here in the month of September. Was there anything that turned you around?
I think what turned us around, the 5 game we lost, and that's what turned us around. We knew we had to bounce back, and after we lost 5 games, we came together as pitching and hitting. Everybody started doing a little piece, and then we started winning a lot of ball games.
Is it time to think about the White Sox yet?
Oh, it's time to think about it, man. I think, you know, just to relax really right now. Tonight and tomorrow we should just relax, and then in Baltimore we should think hard about the White Sox.
All right. Congratulations again, Ricky.
Thank you.
All right, Ricky Henderson and the rest of the club celebrating down here. Let's go upstairs to Jim Houston.
Well, Buck, we were talking about the contribution that some pitchers made while Jack Morris had his problems with injury and couldn't seem to get it together for a long time this season, and Dave Stewart was hurt early in the season. Remember what a contribution the bullpen made early in the season? And a pitcher like Danny Cox. Here's a man who had been signed after pitching well for Pittsburgh, coming off a couple of years of rehab after a serious elbow injury. He was the pitcher of the month in the month of May. And early in the season, he really saved Toronto because he had to come in so early, so often. The bullpen this season has pitched more innings already than it did all of last season, and that's with the starters having done a great job in the month of September. But the bullpen maligned it sometimes, particularly late in the season when the Blue Jays had trouble getting through the 8th to the 9th. Really saved the team and kept them in contention in the early part of the year, and Danny Cox was a big part of that. There were all sorts of pitchers who made contributions. There were all sorts of players. Do you remember who the right fielder was? for much of the early part of the season. That's a long ways back, isn't it? It was Darren Jackson. The Bell deal had been made to San Diego. Jackson came over. He was sick and was hurt and really never did get it together. And then when Dick Schofield went down, Jackson was traded off to New York, and Tony Fernandez was brought back. That was a much ballyhooed deal that some people said was a mistake because Fernandez was a bad influence and had been traded away because he didn't fit in. But Fernandez came back rejuvenated and has played particularly well all down the stretch. And that was a big part of it, the deal for Jackson to bring Fernandez back when Schofield got hurt, and has helped the Blue Jays immensely. Well, now let's go back down to the clubhouse, and here's Nick Leyva now with Buck Martinez. Buck, go ahead.
Well, Nick, you came in mid-season and you got to share in part of this. What did it mean to you to get to be part of it and see this club come together in September?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was really exciting for me, Buck. It's just a pleasure to come in here and watch these true professionals play. And, you know, it's just a thrill for me. I'm probably the luckiest guy on the team, you know. And let's not forget about old Hack. You know, Hack was with us. And Hack, if you watch the videotape of this, you're with us right here also. And believe me, you were a big part of this also. And that's it's just a pleasure for me that I was the guy that was able to take Hack's place because he's the guy that started it.
Yeah, he is, and we certainly want to wish him well and thank him for his efforts. What about this ball club? It looked like they really turned it on in September.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know that the cream rises to the top, and we got a bunch of true professionals here, and, you know, we got guys, most of all, that know how to play the game of baseball. When it got down to the time where we had to get serious, these guys got serious. We run off, 13 out of 15 games, and that's what it takes to win a championship.
Well, this is the start of another season, Nick. Good luck to you and congratulations.
Well, we got to get 4 more and then 4 more after that, so we're excited about it, and I think we can do it.
All right, thanks,
All right.
Nick. Dave Stewart. Ricky Henderson said he didn't get tired of this. How about you?
Never get tired of it. It's always fun.
You've said all along that when just a little bit of cold ice for you. That'll get your heart started. You didn't get to play tonight, so that'll get you into this. You said all along, get me to the postseason. I'll get you another chance to take a kick at the big can, the World Series. You came on in September and made another strong contribution.
You know, it's just...
Now, that's a different look. I tell you, they're so low-key that they're throwing milk on one another. Okay, now you got a chance to regroup, and I think everybody has had their fun with Dave Stewart. But give us your thoughts about this club having a chance to repeat as world champions.
I was coming up the tunnel after celebration on the field. I was just thinking, you know, the fun is about to begin. You know, we've had a long, hard season full of ups and downs, and you know, through all of that, you form character, and you really find out what the element is to win. And I think we put together this last month, and we really know what we're after, and we know what we're going to do when it comes time to put it out on the field.
I think the fans really found out just how important Ricky Henderson can be in the month of September when he got everything together and he's healthy again.
Oh, these fans have seen Ricky, you know, in times before coming in for the playoffs and through the course of the year, but especially in the playoffs. And he's a big game type player, and like I said, it's just about to begin.
Do you have any thoughts on who might start the opening game of the championship series?
You know, it's going to be Cito's decision, and, you know, whatever he decides is going to work. You know, he's got so many choices. We could go with Pat Henkin. We can go with Guzman, myself. Stottlemyre's been throwing good. You know, it's nice to have that type of situation where everybody has rolled around, that they're pitching well enough to keep us in ball games and give us a sincere chance to win. And so, you know, whatever he decides, the choice won't be a bad choice.
Dave, compare this attitude of this club with the A's attitude. This would look like a very professional approach that we saw so many years in Oakland.
Very similar. This ball club has formed a tradition of winning, and, you know, the excitement may seem low-key and business-like, but believe me, you know, each time you get a chance to do it, you're just as excited. It's still fun. It's just as much fun, and, you know, we're just looking forward to what we have in front of us now.
All right, Dave, enjoy the night.
All right.
Okay, Jim, let's go back up to you.
Another one of the newcomers, Dave Stewart. You know, there are 11 players from that World Series championship team last year that are gone, and that makes a repeat even more improbable with so many new faces. One of the new faces is Willie Cañate. If I heard one person say it, I heard 50 people say, what is Willie Cañate doing on the roster? Cañate had his couple of moments to shine. Cito Gaston talked about bringing in Manny Lee in 1985 and Lou Thornton as Rule 5 free agent signings, and they had contributions to make. This year, Cañete had a couple. On August 2nd, he made that throw to the plate to get Wade Boggs out in the first inning, and it really set the tone for a series in which the Blue Jays pushed the Yankees back one more time. Just before that, in the midst of a losing streak after the All-Star break, remember Willie Cañete? The 21-year-old Venezuelan hit 2 home runs in a game, including one to win it, and then the Blue Jays went on a 7-game winning streak and won 9 of 11 shortly after that. So Cañete, as Cito Gaston predicted, made a couple of contributions and won a couple of games in left field and at the plate. And Cañete, that night of August 2nd, was in left field because the Blue Jays were awaiting the arrival of Ricky Henderson. They made the deal and surprised some because they didn't pick up a pitcher. Instead, they went after Ricky Henderson, giving up Steve Carsey. His arrival in New York was one of the most memorable days of the season. Heads of state and prime ministerial candidates longed for the coverage that Ricky Henderson got when he arrived in New York. He got a huge ovation in a stadium that he had once owned as a Yankee and looked a little different. Don't you remember when he first showed up as a Toronto Blue Jay? Had a slow start, but in the month of September has stolen 14 bases, hasn't been caught, and on the last homestand hit .348. He's made a big impact. His speed has truly helped the Toronto Blue Jays. Well, now let's go back down into the clubhouse. We were speaking about Danny Cox and his great contribution. He's been on a championship team before, but never on the Blue Jays.
Well, thank you, Jim. And Danny, you've been here in the clubhouse before of a championship ball club, and now I'm going to step out of their way as you get your little douse.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
What does this mean to you? You have realized what it means to have baseball taken away from you because of injuries, and now you've battled your way back, and you're on a championship team, and you had a large part to do with it. How significant is that to you?
Well, no matter how many times you come here, it's still the best feeling you can possibly have as a ball player. And, you know, you just want to keep playing good ball and continue and go on hopefully further and hopefully be a first team to repeat in a long time. And I think that's what we're all setting our sights on.
You know, early on, the starters were struggling, but you guys out of the bullpen really picked it up. It was a team effort all year long as every aspect of the team played well at different times.
Well, it takes all three things, you know, pitching, hitting, the defense to win. And at times, we didn't click on all cylinders, but one part of our game picked us up and carried us through some times and so forth. And right now, towards the end, we got all the cylinders clicking. We're playing good baseball, pitching, hitting, defense. And, you know, just because we won today and clinched it, we still want to keep on going, play some good ball, keep our mind set, good frame of mind going through the playoffs, playing good, and hopefully we'll play good against Chicago.
All right, Danny. Congratulations, and thanks a lot. All right.
Thank you.
Joe Carter.
Well, a meet like this, huh?
No, I don't mind it. How about you?
No, I don't mind it. It's been to be a regular habit. 3 years, and 3 years I've been for talking to you. So we figure about 2 more times we'll be for talking to you again.
Joe, tell us about this club compared to last year. There's been some that suggest, well, this club didn't have as much emotion. But to me, this seemed like a very focused team and knew what they were after.
Well, it was. This is more of a business-like team. It's been said. We know we don't have all the emotion, the rah-rah. Winning the World Series definitely helped us last year, but we know we have a job to do. It seemed like when our backs were against the wall, whenever New York tied us, it's like we played our best baseball then. But to go on the stretch and win 13 out of 15 ball games and in the clutch, in the crunch time, I mean, that shows the character of this ball club. And this ball club knows what the job is, and now we've got 8 more victories we're concerned about.
All right, Joe, congratulations. Let's do this again.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, about 2 more times.
All right. Thanks a lot. Right. Dwayne Ward coming right in here. Congratulations, Wardo. A lot of people said, well, we don't know if Wardo can be the savior that Hinkie has been, and you put all that to rest. You have had a fine year in your first year. What's it mean to be the key guy out of the bullpen and wrap up your first division championship?
Well, I mean, I think it means a lot for this team. Somebody can come in and fill in what, Tom has done for the past 6-7 years. And, I mean, it showed a lot of confidence out of the organization toward me. And, I didn't want to come out here and disappoint anybody. I want to come out and try to do the best I possibly could. And, and so far, things have been just, sparkling so far, and hopefully we can take it a little bit further than this.
There's been no question that you've been able to handle one-inning stints. What was the key that got you over the hump there?
What was the key to what?
How is that cold stuff?
Oh, this is unbelievable. This is nice. I mean, to come out here and do this, 3 years in a row, and, with this team we have this year, I'm so glad to see someone like, Paul Molitor finally get a chance to come back since 1982, and,
to get back into something that I think he's missed for a long time. And then everybody else that's been on this boat here. I mean, I'm so happy for everybody, and I'm happy for the coaching staff because they've done a fantastic job. The organization's been just fabulous.
And you guys delivered when you had to. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks a lot, Bucky. I appreciate it, man.
All right, Jim, let's go back upstairs.
Wayne Ward, who was on the mound for the second straight season for the clinching. You know, we're back here again tomorrow night. I have this feeling that there'll be Randy Knorr behind the plate, Domingo Martinez at first, Alfredo Griffin at second, maybe Cedeno at short, Coles at third, and an outfield of Butler, Green, and Turner Ward. But Blue Jay fans probably won't mind watching that at all because the Blue Jays have clinched. On September 27th in game number 156, the Blue Jays have won 2-0 over the Milwaukee Brewers and have clinched on the road for the first time a championship of the American League East. It's on to Chicago for game 1 against the White Sox, but first they'll finish out this season and finish out tonight's celebration. You're watching Labatt Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
Hey, mister, you want to play?
Yeah.
I ain't getting that. He can get his own ball. Mister, don't you got a football game to go to?
For 2 weeks a year, Kappa's Casing Ontario is home to us. Larry, Rim, and yours truly, Sue. The perfect place to cold weather test our new Saturn wagons? Yes. Las Vegas? No. This trip, though, we had a side project, an idea to improve the performance of our ABS-equipped cars on slick surfaces. And after a few late nights, we had it. Integrated traction control. We learned a lot that trip, including the fact that Larry can't make coffee.
Question is, why did they pour milk on Stewart? The second question is, differences between this year's club and last year's.
When I was in Texas in July covering the ball club down there, I was talking with Robbie and Joe, and I asked them, I said, you know, what's this team like? And he said, Pat, it's different. It's a different team than 1992's team. He didn't say it was better. He didn't say it was worse. He just said it was a different team, more business-like, more workmanlike. And it shows tonight in the way that they're celebrating.
Yeah, you can see the way they were celebrating. It's almost as though they just completed one step, still 8 more wins between them and a World Series. The White Sox, perhaps a little bit more jubilant in their celebration. They were really giving her on the field afterwards, celebrating a 4-2 victory over top of Seattle. The White Sox clinch the American League West title. One of the big reasons for the title was the Big Hurt.
Hey, this team is built with champions here, like I said, and you know, with me, I played with so much pain here the last week, no one knows, but you know, I was definitely going to keep it out of the media. But tonight, you know, I had to come out of the game. I wanted to be on the field when we clinched, but I just couldn't do it. But all I got to say, I'm just so proud of this team, and I'm just happy everyone, you know, came out and was with us all the time. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
So Chicago American League West champions, Jays champions for the 3rd year in a row in the American League East. The last time that happened was 76, 77, and 78 when the New York Yankees did it. Let's get back to the park now. Here's Buck Martinez.
Darnell Coles and Randy Norris celebrating another championship.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
You guys don't get an awful lot of chance to play, but I know how much it means to you to make a contribution. Tell us, first of all, it's been a long time coming for you.
Absolutely. This has been a long time coming, obviously, like you said, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity. The only thing is I wish my wife and kids were here to go through the celebration with me, but I know they're at home watching, and they know I love them, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity.
Congratulations. Randy Norris, you had some big homers.
Oh, you got to sneak them in there whenever you can. Oh, I didn't get to play that much, but that's all right. Anytime you can be on a team that wins a championship, you know, I may never do this again. So it just feels great to be here.
Enjoy the night, fellas.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah.
Would you please tell the audience what kind of player you used to be? Sometimes in the booth up there, you forget what kind of player you used to be. And I just like to remind everybody, he wasn't very good.
Thank you, Jack, for that. Rob Butler, you got a chance to come up and be a part of this club, and injuries robbed you of more playing time. But tell us what it was like for a Canadian to sit on the bench and watch this.
It's the first time I ever get to do something like this, you know. I mean, normally I'm coming home from school, getting ready to watch the Blue Jays do this, and now I get to be a chance. And now I get a chance to be a part of all this, and you know, it's a dream come true. You know, I thank the Toronto Blue Jays, the organization, for you know, making all this happen for me. You know, calling me up this year and letting me be a part of this, and you know, everybody back home, I know they're all going crazy right now. You know, my girlfriend's probably crying right now, but you know, I love being a part of this, and you know, I'm proud to be Canadian and being on this team, and you know, it's really special for all Canadians, right from Newfoundland all the way to Victoria. So, you know, I don't even know what to say. You know, this really is. I mean, these guys do this every year, but this is the first time for me, and you know, I'm so happy.
Well, you should be very proud, and I'm sure you're going to get a chance to do this when you're a big part of it too.
Yeah. Well, hey, whenever they need me, I'll be there. Don't worry about that. Thanks.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rob. Okay, Jimmy, that's the story down here in the locker room, as everybody's kind of enjoying it, but you can see it's a pretty subdued locker room.
It is. Still requires wetsuits, I think, for any championship celebration. You know, Rob Butler could still end up being on a postseason roster. The Blue Jays have to declare 25 players from 28 eligible, and Butler, because he was on the disabled list at the end of August, could still get a chance to play in postseason action. The celebration continues as the Blue Jays prepare to finish out this season with 6 games to go. They'll open the American League Championship Series a week tomorrow against the Chicago White Sox. Tonight, a setup by Timlin, a save by Dwayne Ward, a 2-0 win in the clincher. The American League East Division champions for the 5th time and for the 3rd consecutive year are the Toronto Blue Jays.
Tasted Crystal Pepsi?
No.
Definitely different than traditional Pepsi. What do you think? Everyone is watching. We're waiting. It has a cleaner flavor. It's got a taste all of its own. What do you think? Refreshing. Not heavy. No, it's not syrupy. We're still waiting, Brandon. Please recycle. That's good. This is different.
Wow.
Okay, Brandon. What do you think? We're waiting.
It tastes real good.
You will be amazed at the rewards you can get with the Esso card. Great discounts every month on a Cantel cellular phone for your car, or a camcorder, or vacation packages, and much, much more. Yes, a reward each month for using your Esso card. You haven't got an Esso card? Better hop to it and call this number, and someone friendly will answer.
You're on your way.
Labatt Blue Jays baseball on TSN. Brought to you by Labatt Blue for an honest and true quality that's a big hit across Canada. By Esso Associates and Imperial Oil. You're on your way with Esso. And by Pepsi. Pepsi reminds you to be young, have fun, drink Pepsi. Labatt player of the game tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays is Pat Hampton. His 19th win of the season was the clincher. Labatt player of the game for the Brewers is Cal Eldred. His 8th complete game in a 2-0 loss to Toronto. A cash donation will be made to the Canadian Special Olympics on behalf of Eldred, Henkin, Sanyo, and Weeder. All members of the Blue Jays pitching staff receive a selection of gifts from Midas for brake exhaust, suspension, and steering service. Trust your car to Midas. And the Black & Decker Serious Do-It-Yourself line of power tools. You'll never outgrow them. We'll be back again tomorrow night when the Blue Jays play the Milwaukee Brewers in the 2nd game of this series. Baseball tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time. The Expos are on TSN against the Marlins on Wednesday night at 7:30 Eastern. The final score is the Blue Jays win the East 2-0 Toronto. The Toronto Blue Jays, 1993 American League champions. Chicago White Sox, 1993 American League West champions. Lots more coming up on Sports Desk. First time for you was 1991. Is that one with a little more significance than last year, maybe?
Well, that first one is always special. I remember that we were dumping champagne, and when I saw Cito there getting dumped with the whole water, I kept thinking about when we left the clubhouse there in 91, the place was underwater with champagne, water, milk, beer, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great feeling.
Cito gave him a pretty long lead, you think, for a couple of days, let the veterans relax a little?
I think he has to. He's got to give Ricky and John, looks like he could use a day off or two, and get him ready for that Baltimore series so they can chug right into the playoffs.
So the Toronto Blue Jays American League East champions for the 3rd year in a row. Success takes place at the intersection where skill, patience, and determination meet. The Jays standing right in the middle of that intersection.